Hey everyone, my name is John DiMarco, and if you haven't been to this channel before, I'm a director of photography or cinematographer, whatever you like to prefer, out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Today, I'm going to do a whole series about me going over things I have shot before and kind of breaking down what my approach was for each thing. So today, I'm very excited because this is the film I've been wanting to work on and show what I did. The film is called Kevin and Winnie. I wrote it, I produced it, I edited it, and I was the DP for it. My friend George Elias was the director of the film, and this is how the film is. So let's get to it. I'm very excited. We're gonna start from the beginning, and we'll go from there. So, and just a little backstory about this film. It's won a handful of awards at film festivals. So this came out in 2020. We filmed it in 2 days. Just to give a little backstory about this movie, when I thought of the concept, I got a Nanlite Forza 200 light, and I was super excited to get this light. And so I was testing it out, and one day I put it outside of my dining room downstairs, and I shined the light through the window with the blinds open, and it gave it a really nice, and this was at night, so it gave a really nice like Venetian blind type of look, and I was like, oh my god, this is really cinematic, this looks really cool, like the lighting is looking really nice, and I'm like, well, what if like a man and a woman have a conversation and the guy is dying, doesn't really know what it is, and they have this like last conversation before they die and kind of do this whole thing. So it made me think of Kevin and Winnie. I always set goals for films, right? So my goal for this film was to have like the best cinematography I can do right now with like the things I have, right? I wanted to make the best looking cinematic like experience that I could push myself to make something that I haven't done before. And I think I accomplished that with this film, so I'm really excited to go over this. So let's start it right now. This sign is actually all real. We were really lucky to find this sign because at the time we were trying to shoot in Lake Las Vegas, and I was going through the proper channels of reaching out, asking, gonna send out like, you know, the paper back and like explaining what we're doing. Because originally the idea was like they're having this like date and they were gonna walk around Lake Las Vegas, and again, like I just want to double check. I want to ask for permission, not for forgiveness, even though you should ask for forgiveness and not permission. But I wanted to try to do everything right when shooting this film. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to ask them, talk to them, go through the proper channels and see what happens. And sadly, the day before, they get back to me and they say, oh, you can't use this spot. So luckily, my hindsight being 2020 and like my nervousness and like just trying to get everything right and make sure we have everything, me and George went on a location scout and we found the park right by my parents' house. And basically, with that park, we found this sign and some great locations for a date night. So I'm very happy to get this and to have this opportunity to shoot here with this beautiful sign, them walking together. We shot this with a 14 millimeter. The sun over here is actually setting, which is really cool as well. Basically, I was lucky to get the red, and it has the great highlight roll off on this. It has like really nice, like just recovered in the details. So it was very, and again, the sun was going down, so we were kind of racing against time. And we used all my Rokinon Cine DS lenses, and I rented a 70-200 EF lens 2.8, and you'll see that in a second. But there's just something about this, like this is the lucky. I feel like we got really lucky with the sun. Like, look at the way the sun is falling right on the back of her head, right there. It's just, oh my god, sunset is one of your best friends, and golden hour and blue hour. This is blue hour, but yeah, we'll continue. Sorry, I'm just like, I haven't watched this in a long time. I hate watching your movies that you worked on because you're just so critical of yourself, and whenever I do watch it, I cringe, and I'm not cringing because I'm like, oh, it's so bad. I'm cringing because, oh my god, like, look what I did wrong. This could have been better. I'm very hard on myself, and I think a lot of people are hard on themselves as well, too. But if you're hard on yourself, and you take what you learn, and you take what you're going to be doing next time, you incorporate it to your next shoot to understand, okay, what can I do better? What am I going to be better at? So that's why I always do. And again, like, I still love this movie. I'm super proud of this movie. This is like one of my favorite shot movies that I made so far. I do have another one that might be topping that in another future episode, so please subscribe to keep up to date with that. Okay, so this is the 70-200. So we put this shot on a 70-200 millimeter lens 2.8, and we were really fighting the sun here. I just love how the sun is hitting here. Like this is, again, we're not using anything besides natural light that's coming from over here. So all that light is coming from wow, coming from here. But yeah, we are getting this really beautiful sunset, this soft light, and we're super lucky. Like again, racing against the clock also. So this was our last, I believe this is our last scene you'll see in sunset before we get to nighttime. I also love they're both wearing blue. Just that also. Just little things, that this warmness and then blue, nice contrasting colors with it, the overall setting aesthetics. Again, that 7200 is just so lovely to use. It's like we're pushed in at 200. We're far back. Like not super far, but like if that's the middle of it, we're about, I would say 20 feet, maybe a little bit more than that. I don't remember, but I know we're pushed in, and there's this beautiful like look at this compression. Look at the compression all around Jordan. Like this is Jordan, and we are now compressed so well. Like it's so beautiful. Just I love that shallow depth of field that we're getting right around here. All this shallowness is just so nice to see, and it's like we're really centered on Jordan. And that's what's so beautiful about it. And even when Brenna's in this frame, we're centered on both of them, and they're both in focus, and you're focusing on them and no one else. Now it's nighttime, so I'm gonna just let this play through. I'm gonna tell you exactly where we put lighting. So we're using our main source. We were trying to go off of these lights right here, and then there's another light over there too. So we have a MC200 panel. I bought that before. It's a RGB WW panel light. It's a 2x, is it a 2x1 or whatever it is? But we were shooting that this way, hitting Brenna, right, and Jordan. And then we have a light up top right there. Lance was up top shining our light to get that hair light. So let's see if we can see that right there. So yeah, we're doing this, and then the camera movement, I'm just following them. I'm using this handheld to give a natural feel to this whole thing. There's this beauty with this set here. Like the greens are clashing with the blues are hitting with the warmer light. All this stuff just works out so perfectly. It's these little happy accents you don't really think about because like my brain's not thinking about the color and stuff like that as much, right? Because my brain's focused on like, and because this is bad, right? I had to work on this, but my brain's so focused on getting the shot, making sure the light looks good. I'm not thinking about like, oh shit, like the colors actually clash with each other in a good way. So again, this is the 7200. We're punched in at 200. We're like about 30 feet back. No, maybe 50 feet back. We're punched in. We have the nice bokeh right here. So we have a light coming in from over here. We're cross-lighting. So we have a light over here and a light over here. One was the Razor and the other was the 300D from Nanlite. I love my Nanlite lights. Again, this is just another beautiful shot. Like just all this stuff was just pure magic this night. Like night one went so well. Like, you know, like it's a blessing when stuff goes so well and you're so prepared for things, because again, I try to prepare for everything I do, and I say this all the time, be like Batman. And just in general, like everything just went so smoothly. Everything just clicked. Everything we were touching, it turned to gold. And it was just so, I felt so lucky because the next day, after we filmed the next day, it was like, okay, let's hope we get this right again. And you're always a little nervous too. So this is, again, like, we're also not trying to push stuff on the ISO of the Komodo. I think I shot mostly 800, and then in RAW I kind of fudged around with some stuff, but I didn't really go past 800. I think I went to 1,000 the most, if anything. So this is the tree outside my house. My wife got her, like, burning tool or whatever the hell it is, I forgot, and wrote Kevin and Winnie in our tree stump back there, and it's still there to this day. Here we go. This is one of the coolest, this is like the shot I was thinking about all friggin' day when we were shooting this. So we got obviously Brenna coming down. There's a light upstairs. It is bouncing off the ceiling. So let me go here. Okay, so we got the light back here bouncing off the ceiling, right? It's bouncing. It's up here, over here in this area above there. And then she's coming down. It's pure black. But we're trying to make this look like morning, like early morning when the sun's is coming up in that golden hour. We want that golden hour. So this is all manufactured, right? Now in this corner right here, we have the razor panel outside right here, right? And that's blasting through in a, I think we use like an amber or a straw color filter that comes with that light. As we're watching this, see how that light is? See that light in the background? It's bright. We just need something to separate her. That was mostly it, and just add a little bit. I know it's not natural there, but we need it to use that to give some separation, because then it should be in pitch black and we wouldn't be able to see her, and it'd be really tough. And it just adds a little bit of stuff. It's also like you don't ever see the top of the house except in one part. So yeah, that's besides the point. But again, like it's just this showing this, right? And then when we get down here, look at this lighting. Look at the backlight hitting her. She is right there. Look at that. Look at all that, right? All that right there. Look, she's coming down. Look at that. And that light, and we're using can haze to light this up too, so you can see the it's just so much, and that light just coming from here outside, and it's coming right over to her right there. It works so well. And it's supposed to fit this scene of her walking down, and like look at that. It wraps around so nicely her head too. It's like just so subtle, so soft. This was also very hard to focus, her coming down the stairs and seeing her in pitch black, because oh my god, that was a pain in the butt cheeks. It makes logical sense to have the light coming this way because my house is a south-facing house. When I was doing the lighting, think about like how the sun comes up in my house in general, right? So it's a south-facing house, and basically the sun's coming up this way over here, and it's coming around this way and going around that way around the back of my house. So by this time in the morning, in reality, the sun there should be no light over here yet in this section. So there's no light here yet when the sun's coming up. Or just very minimal light. See? Yeah. But even that, like you can't, actually, is that from I think we forgot to turn off, so this little bit of level of light right here that you see through the blinds, this little bit of light that I'm highlighting right here is, I think, coming from a security light that's on the side of the house. So I think we just forgot to turn that off. But again, when we turn on the light, it goes away, you don't really see it as much. So this works. This was a little bit of a pain in the butt. We're using, so for this, natural light meaning the practical light in my house, there's actually an LED light hitting from top, and it's on the ceiling of my kitchen. So that's where all that light's coming from as well. So we are using all that light right there. And actually, okay, you have to like squint or you'll miss it. But if you look closely, it's right here. You can see that outside security light on. I never noticed that till now. Never really thought about that till now. It's funny just looking through this stuff too. And if you look over here really closely, I'll zoom in right there. You see a little bit of that light peeking in. So you make mistakes. You don't notice them if no one else notices the mistakes either. That's a good thing sometimes too. I kind of messed up this shot. I just want this whole scene to be darker. So when Kevin stood up and he walked over, the light right here that's coming down here, because I think we try to put overhead light on him as well. I want to barn door that out and like just have the light on him so it outlines him, and then everything else is pitch black. So I want this really pitch black in a sense, so he's coming into the light like you didn't notice him at all. So that's what I want it to do, is this pitch black version of the Kevin character walking into light, being bathed with light and coming from a dark place. But I just couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong, so we kind of left it as it came out just as well. If I could do this again, I would, and I know what to do now. Now this was the biggest part of the whole film, was this setup right here where this light is coming from. After lunch, we focused on this scene, the downstairs scene stuff. So most of this stuff was shot after lunch, later in the night. Basically, I think we were shooting a 300 light down at first, but then we moved it to the 60. So I think we used the 60B and a gel on this. No. I think we used the 300. Yeah, we used the 300 with an amber filter on it, an orange straw filter, I believe, just to give that light on there. So and it's really dim. It's like a 1%, 2%, I think. It's been so long. Thank you to Ramiro, Lance, and Sam. Ramiro was my gaffer, my grip. Sam and Lance were my PAs. They killed it. I love Gordon Willis as this DP. He was called the Prince of Darkness, and like just his cinematography is so beautiful. And I really want to kind of show that cinematography in this as well. That's why we're very low in light. We're not really using much to like even bounce back on them. We're just using this and silhouetting them in the morning light. It just looks so nice, and yeah, it's underexposed, but it's underexposed for a purpose. It's for the mood and the set of the atmosphere, right? We're trying to show it's early morning. You don't want to overexpose early morning, then bring it down. I try to get my stuff in camera a lot of times, and with the FX6 now, I have to overexpose a little bit to understand that better, especially like ProRes RAW. It's something I'm learning completely, but in a new way of thinking too. But like, you in S-Log 3 Cine Gamut, you can underexpose a little bit and get like the 50s and 60s. It doesn't have to be per 70, but I followed the RGB and I was looking for clipping and stuff like that. So I was trying to look for the right like false colors, but like I don't think I was using false colors that much at this time. I was just trying to make it look good to my eye, what my eye saw and what I saw on the monitor and how I wanted to present it. So this is what I was looking for. These are things I was looking for. I was trying to go off my feel, like the feel of the movie is in my hand, and I'm trying to craft it to the way I'm envisioning it. I try to expose middle for this because I was watching some videos about red Komodos and how you should expose for the middle and not really to the right or to the left. So I try to stay in the middle and find the best look that I wanted and what I was feeling. So once I found it and I felt it, we recorded it. So we shot this all on a 50 from one spot, most of this stuff. We were also in a rush at this time because all this stuff was towards the end of the night, and the actors went through a lot, as you'll see in the next couple scenes. But they went through a lot, so like we didn't really do much with other coverage. And again, like we should have did more. And I think I did originally want a third day when making this film, but I was told not to do that. We don't have to do it. We have everything here, but I should have went against my better judgment and actually got a third day, because I think the third day would have helped us a little bit with this. We should have got a little bit more coverage, more ways of getting a little bit different angles. But again, this is telling a story as well too with the one angle. I mean, I'm trying to just justify it, but what I mean by also getting more coverage, I really want them to jazz. So in the words of what I'm saying by jazz is I want them to kind of just move around and like feel out the space. So if they moved over in the dining room, I'll follow them to the dining room. If they moved over to the stairs, I want to follow them wherever they went. So I want like them to kind of like just improvise a little bit and how their movements would go and where they go, where would their character go. There's a lot of questions of what their characters want to do, and I want the camera to just follow them again, just kind of just move along with them and just feel them out and stuff like that. And I want to do that, but again, because of time, we didn't have a chance to do that, so we had nixed that hole completely, and that's why we're staying on this mostly single shot. Like, look at this, like the light just coming in from here, hitting Jordan right here. It's just so nice. Like, look at that. And then the light's hitting Brenna here. It's just these little things that, like, it's the subtleties that make it so cinematic. It's not like these, like, oh, you need to blast them with light or like, lower it. It's just subtle stuff that make it feel real. That's what I'm trying to go for. A realistic and naturalistic approach to what like the world sees and what you're seeing in the world. The world's not bright all the time. The world's also dark. Like if you're walking around my house right now, there's lights that are not on and it's dark. Or there's sections of the pockets of the house that don't have light to it, or like the light's fading away to the darkness, and it's darker in those locations. Even in this room right now, this light, I have a 60-watt light from the Nanlite 60B light hitting me. But behind that, there's no light, and it's gonna be darker over there if we're over there. Or like between that light that's on over there on my workbench, behind that it's gonna be darker. So I'm trying to go for that naturalistic feel, that realistic, like not trying to go too like stylized in that regard. Like I want to show the world through my eyes, right? I want to give you the world through which I'm seeing stuff, through my camera, through my movements, through my lens choices, through my lighting. Like again, I'm just so blessed with the crew that I worked with. This light, again, this light, just a simple light hitting her and just hitting these little spots, lighting her in those sections, giving her this like real feel where it's like, oh, okay, like this would be real in the morning. Like you're not gonna have a light coming in from over here. That's not real. That's gonna like, there's no point to that. Yeah, maybe I should have put a reflector just to get a little bit more fill on the other side. But I don't, even with that, I think it's too much light. We're at a point where it's like, it's the emotion of the light is giving to the whole creative aspect and freedom of this film. And I just wanted to make the best cinematic experience I could make for a film. And that was my goal. So I think I got that goal down. How did we shoot this scene? Okay. How many lights do you think were used? Comment below. So we used the razor panel blasting to the ceiling. So we have a light coming this way up on the ceiling of my backyard because I have a overhang type of thing, like a patio cover. So we blasted the light that way at color temperature. Then Ramiro put two, where is it? I'll just make this blue for Pavo tubes. Pavo tubes over them in the back, hidden on C-stands, blasting them for that backlight. And then we bought this string light that we got on Amazon. We put up in the back just to give some feel. Like, you want to get like it's a house. You do some stuff. It was just perfectly, the lights hitting the ceiling, bouncing off that, just perfectly looking like, oh wow, evenly lit, perfect. Then that backlight hitting them slightly. Then you have that nice pop in the background too. From like, look at the bokeh on this thing. Like, this is the Rokinon lenses, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Rokinon lenses. The bokeh from the Rokinon lenses is very nice. Great star lenses. I had no complaints with them. This scene's so beautiful too. I wrote this scene in like a day. I told them, like, you don't have to read it verbatim. You just have to, like, get the skeleton and say however you want, right? But and when they said the lines in the script, I was like, yo, that worked. So it was really nice to see that, like, the writing I had for this kind of worked out for what it was. It was just so nice to see this come alive. It's like you write this script and you're like, and seeing it come alive, that's like it's like, yes, it's working, right? And even this, when we shot this, it was like, yes, we have something. We have something so freaking good. It was just so awesome to see this. This is the first thing we shot Friday because the sun was out. So let's break this down. What are we doing in here? We are, one, on a slider, so we're sliding back. Let me go with black real quick. So we're dollying out, so we're going this way. We're dollying out with the camera. Now, we have the 60 nan light in here as well. That changed the colors. I don't understand that. So the nan light is on here with the spotlight attachment, and it's making these Venetian blinds right here that you see. These blinds. Boop, boop, boop. So it's giving her that texture on the wall. It's giving her texture on her. And then, so you're asking yourself, like, why is there blinds in the corner? Or, so in my house, there's a window right here, as you see, right here. That's a window. But also on this side, that's behind this right here, there's a window on the side there. I can't draw it from my life, so I'm going to... I just drew a bad cube. But anywho, there's a window over here, right? So the light would be coming in from... So, again, using my logic, where the sun's happening, the sun comes up this way and around out here over behind me, right? It's behind. So the sun will be over here probably at that time, behind the house or close to it, and it should be shooting light through here, which then is basically acting as the blinds against there. So that's why we put the nan light over here, shooting it towards the wall, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But yeah, I look like a Picasso drawing. But again, because the sun comes up where I'm pointing my finger at the camera lens, and it goes around this way and back to my house that way, where it ends up over there where this monkey is, that's where it lands. So in that room over there, there's a wall, there's a window over here, right? And the light's going to come over there. So by that time it's over here, it should be hitting this wall in theory, right? So that's what we were trying to do and try to accomplish. And then we also had another light just bouncing to add some more level. We added some light on the top, so we were hitting the light up top on the ceiling. I know, I'm sorry, it's all over the place. So hitting the light up on the ceiling and then adding some haze to add some atmosphere, right, to this whole scene. This is a little hard shooting Jordan this way because we had the light on the hallway. So we gotta keep that consistent. And then we're trying to leveling the light up on the wall or up on the ceiling to bounce that off to give that even light as well too. So we did that again as well on the reverse side of that. So again, we have the light just from the hallway. So this is all practical from like 3 different bulbs. As you see that hot spot right there, that's from a bulb as well by my bedroom. This shot, this is beautiful. Like just the Venetian blind hitting from the 60, the blinds hitting her face, giving that texture on her face, making her just, just that realism to it, and then having the blinds. They're a little exaggerated in the sense of where we are, but it works. It elevates the story. It elevates the cinematography. It elevates the whole production, giving these little things that you don't think are important. So it's really nice to have this, and having those tools to get what you need is important, and having those tools to just giving you what you need, just what you need to do. It's like, hey, I want to add texture on the wall. And I've been using, like literally, I have now used this Venetian blind look, this that you're seeing right here, countless of times. My wife goes, whenever you use that, that's what I shot, because I have that somewhere in there, because there's just something about it that works. There's just this beautiful sense of it just gives something to it. It just gives this texture. It gives this way it just helps elevate the production value. And then we're back to where we were. And, again, these shots are just so, something about them. Just, there's something that gives this, Hollywood movie feel, weirdly enough. But there's just something about the beauty of these shots that feel like this is something you'd see in a Hollywood film. Or close to. Maybe a higher-end indie film. I'll give it that. Yeah, I just wish we had more options for shots and shot selections. And again, just that one light plus the level coming in from the outside light, that 1x1, that 2x1 panel, that Razor 200 I was talking about earlier. It's been a pleasure to go over this and kind of talk about this and the whole process of we shot this. But this is it was very successful. Overall, I learned a lot. And I take all those lessons I learned from this set onto every future set. And I also take all the lessons I learned from the other sets I've been on, and kind of just keep growing as a director of photography. I think each project I've done has gotten better and better. This is my baseline, okay, this is the best one you've done. Then everything else has to be better than that last one. So I'm always striving to do better and better. But it's tough sometimes, because you're just comparing to your old work, and you don't really see it sometimes. But it's good. It's good to be able to look at this stuff, go over what you did, talk about it, and I wish I journaled this more, honestly, and talked about the process, and kind of did more behind the scenes. But the problem with me behind the scenes is I'm so focused and so dead on with what I want to do and what I'm doing, that I'm not thinking about the behind the scenes and stuff like that. So I'm going to be hopefully working on that more this year, in the upcoming year of 2025. So again, thank you for watching the Kevin and Winnie How I Shot This video. I'm definitely going to try to do more of these. I would like to break down more of my stuff and talk about it, so you guys can understand what my process is as a cinematographer. Again, thank you. Have a great day. Peace.